Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to improve your eBay sales through the use of store categories, branding, the use of white backgrounds, and also proper pricing. Now this all comes in the context of a message that I sent out in my Facebook group about a week or two ago, in which I let people know that I would be willing to do a free store review for people. All they had to do is send me an email letting me know that they would like me to do the review and also granting me permission to share their store here on the channel and also share their first name. And so the first person who responded to me about this was Renee. So let me take you into Renee's message here. She said, "Hi Dominic, big fan of your channel. I would love to get a store review. My store is small, but I need some good, honest feedback. I am absolutely willing to have my store reviewed on YouTube." Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Renee. I really appreciate it. And let's bring people over to your store. Now, I have linked to it down below in the description section if you would like to check it out there too. But as you can see here, Renee calls herself the Central PA Picker. There are two main things that jump out to me when I first land on the page for the first time coming to the store. Number one is that it's generic, so there's no customization to it in terms of a banner or a logo. We just see the default decorative designs that eBay puts in place of a customized logo or banner. But that's something, to be fair, that most people are not going to have set up at the very beginning as soon as they get the store, especially if they're a new reseller and they're just kind of getting their feet wet and jumping into this and experimenting with the store. But it is something that could really help you out in terms of improving the chances that you can make sales. And we're going to circle back to that a little bit later in terms of the branding aspect more. But I want to do a deeper initial dive into what I believe is the main problem that jumps out to me when I come to the page, which you can and should have set up either as soon as you start and launch your store or very soon afterwards, which is store categories. This is one of the main reasons that you are paying to have an eBay store. It's the ability to assign your inventory to a category, because this helps your prospective buyers be able to find your inventory faster. And that is super important as we live in a society where people are rushed. They want instant gratification. Their attention is short. And if they cannot find your items fast that they may want, then they're going to go somewhere else to try to find it faster over there. So it's really, really important to be able to set things up so that we could allow people to find things as fast as possible. Now, if you just have, 10 items on your page and you don't have a store yet, well, it doesn't really matter because people are going to be able to find it quickly. So let's say you only had 9 things, you're just starting out on eBay. There's no need for a store in that situation because I can see everything you have right here, right? Well, that's fine for that situation. But once you start getting into 100 items, 200 items, 1,000 items or more, that's when buyers are going to get overwhelmed. They're going to lose patience and they're going to leave. Now, if we look through Renee's store, we could see that there's a lot of different things that she sells. She sells hats. She sells books. She sells seashells by the seashore. No, I'm just kidding. She sells toys. We've got video games. There's all sorts of things that she has here. But let's just say, for example, I'm at her store and I want to find a toy for somebody as a gift. Well, there's some possibilities here. There's some things that I might want on this first page. Maybe I want the Garfield. Maybe I want the Sonic. Maybe I want the Rainbow Bright or the Care Bear. I don't know. But maybe there's some other items, and I want to make sure I look at everything first before I make a decision. Well, when I get to the end of the page, I have a problem because now I see that there's 4 pages that I have to look through. And if I'm not a patient person, I'm just probably going to just head out and maybe check out another page. Maybe I'll go to Amazon or something like that, So that's why, if you have it set up in the category, it makes it easier. So let me show you a comparison. I'm going to bring you over to my eBay store right here. I have it linked in the description section if you want to check it out. But you could see here, there's these categories. Now, for those of you who are completely unfamiliar with these categories and how to get assigned, you create them yourself as a store owner. and you basically just assign a label to every piece of your inventory that you want to assign a label to, and that will put it in a category. So let's say you're at my store and you're looking for toys. You just click right there on toys, and it will bring you to any item that I have labeled as a toy or a toy related piece. And so the great thing about this, not only does it help find inventory faster for buyers, but it also increases the chances that they are going to make bulk purchases and lump things together. So if someone came across the Yoda toy, well, they may then say, well, you know what? I could really use the Luke Skywalker action figure to go along with that. Or maybe they will say, hey, you know, that's pretty cool. I need that frog plane right there. And then they see there's another one below it. Now, they didn't intend to necessarily make those purchases when they came in. Maybe they only intended to look at the Yoda figure. Maybe they did a search for the Yoda figure, brought them into my store, and then they clicked on the toy category and they saw that I have Luke Skywalker as well. You know, now compare that to if, you know, I'm at another page or, you know, another store and Yoda's on page 1 and Luke Skywalker's on page 16. What's the chances that I'm going to find them? Well, that's going to be lower. It's going to increase the chance if I have them in categories. Now, it is true that eBay will make recommendations for people when they are checking out for similar items, and so they might come across it that way, but I don't like to leave everything to chance, and I also like to try to increase chances of making sales, and that's a way you could increase it, is putting things in categories. I mean, just tonight, for example, you know, in my own business, I had a sale of a Howard the Duck Treasury-sized comic book, and the same person also bought a Treasury-sized Doctor Strange comic book. Now, I can't tell you if they got those through the category or if it was through, you know, a separate search for both of those items, or if it was through a recommendation from eBay. But I can tell you for sure, people do search through categories, and that is a mechanism by which people will make bulk purchases like that. So it's definitely important, and they're really easy to set up. You just go into your Manage My Store section like this, and then if you want to add a category, you just click add a category, and let's say we'll just make something up here to go to the top. Let's say we want animals. So anything related to animals would go there. We just click that right there. And then all you got to do is hit save. And now that will show up. Oh, I already entered animals before. So let's say animals and more. Let's just to make it different. So we'll just hit save right there. And then that will show up as a unique category. So you see, I've got animals and more. Now, if I just want to rename them, or if I want to remove them and take them out, all I do is highlight them like that. I put the little checks on them, and then I just hit delete or rename. Delete will just take them out. So I'm just going to delete them right now because I don't need those. I'm going to hit delete right there. And there we go. Now they're gone. So it's very easy to customize it however you want to. And you can also have subcategories. So for example, if you do clothes, and a lot of people here sell clothes, you definitely should be putting your clothes in categories and subcategories. Like you could see for me here, under the clothing area, I have backpacks and bags, hats and caps, shirts and sweaters, shoes, ties and neckties. So if you want to see the shirts that I have for sale, you know, all you have to do is click on that, and there you go. It brings you to shirts. It will only show you the things in for your business page, for your store page that you actually have inventory in. But you could create categories in other areas just so they're available for later on. So, you know, in the clothing area, for example, and I'll actually bring you into a listing template here because you could see how it would work. If you're unfamiliar, you just do your drop down menu here and you just pick what you would want, and this is how you assign the categories. If you want to assign this a toy, you know, you assign it a toy. Now obviously this is a comic book that I picked out here, but so we would assign it, you know, comics for the real designation. But you could see here under clothes, I have a whole bunch of different possibilities here. You see baby clothes, and there's the backpacks I mentioned earlier, but there's bandanas and belts. There's all options that I have available, and they're ready for when I come across an item like that. It's all set. I just click it, but it's not going to show up over here in my store unless I actually have that inventory active. So category, that's pretty much the end of what I want to tell you about categories, but it's really important. And Renee, I'd highly suggest getting your inventory categorized. It'll just take you a little bit just to come up with the categories and then assign everything. You're gonna have to go through each item at the very beginning, but then from then on out, you just assign it as soon as you're listing, and it's easy. So it's just that first pass around that you got to put in some legwork there. Now, the second thing that I would mention is to start considering doing some branding and personalizing your store more, so that people have more of a distinct recollection of it and a distinct memory of it, so that they could come back to it later on. And you want everything to kind of tie together. So you can see here, the name Central PA Picker does not match up with what the username is here. And you are allowed to change your username on eBay. You could change it, I believe, once a month. So I would change it to match. Now, I would actually use a different name than Central PA Picker. Obviously, this is personal preference, but my view on it is that having the store simply as an individual's name. Now, I know it doesn't say like an actual name like there would be on a birth certificate, but it's linked up to an individual. Central PA Picker is one person. It's you, Renee. So I think that kind of thing could work if you are selling like cologne and fashion like Jimmy Choo or something like that, but or if you're a musician or something, or it could work if you have an Etsy store and you're crafting something, you're selling something you personally make, but you're not making the inventory that you're selling here. These are all things you're buying and you're going out and you're reselling. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use your name, your personal name, in some way, like Tommy's Treasures or something like that, but I would suggest trying to keep the name related more to the items per se, as opposed to the individual. The individual name works more, for example, if you have like a YouTube channel. Like my YouTube channel is Primetime Treasure Hunter, because this channel is about me and it's about my adventures going out and doing the picking and the treasure hunting and the tips and stuff that I share, my live shows and all that type of stuff. But when it comes to my store, that is different. So that's not Primetime Treasure Hunter, that's Primetime Treasure, because the items there, the thought there is that the items there are treasures, and when people come to my store, I want them to think that they're finding treasures. That's what I want them to identify with. Have them identify more with the items, and then they'll identify with the brand that you created around those items and have things consistent. So you can see my store is Primetime Treasure and my username is Primetime Treasure and my YouTube name is Primetime Treasure Hunter. So everything is kind of relating to one another, and that's one thing I would suggest. So it's challenging to come up with a name, but I would just kind of kick some things around, and when it feels right, and that's what you go with. But it's just something to develop and think about in the future, because trust me, people will remember, especially if you have like a logo or something that really sticks out. People remember that. They'll start following you. Right now you have 7 followers, but people will follow more. Like you can see here, 791 followers, and I could guarantee you that I would not have as many followers if I didn't do this type of branding. Have the banner have something that generally relates to the type of things that you're selling. I sell a lot of general things myself, but I specialize in comic books, toys, and vintage items, which is why that's what you mainly see here. Now, just as an aside, this does not mean that I am perfect. There are things people could go through in my store and find issues with, but I have been doing eBay for a very long time, and I've had a lot of success with it. And so that's why I offered this opportunity out there for people who are struggling with some slow sales, because I saw a lot of people complaining about that. And so that's why I wanted to reach out to people and try to help out there. So one other thing I would suggest here is just change the word woman's here to women's. Just make that plural, just like you have with men's, and try to, again, keep things brief. People's people's attention is short, and so what you want to do is, I would say, try to have this like one sentence that's here, like just cut this down a little bit. I don't think you even need to have this part, for example, that says it's my desire to provide quality products and happy customers. Of course you want to do that, but I would say focusing more on what it is that you're actually selling. Like you can see here, mine says specializing in the sale of comic books, toys, books, pop culture items, clothes, and all things vintage and collectible. So try to get those specialty items in there in the beginning, and then have something at the end that just kind of encompasses all the other items. It's on one line, and you can see there just visually, it's just easier to look at as opposed to breaking things down onto two lines. It's just a little bit more digestible. So let's go into, I just want to tell you a page that you could go to. Now, this is not something that I get any money from, no affiliations whatsoever, but I've actually personally used them, so I'm just suggesting Fiverr. They're basically a group of online digital consultants who will do things for you, like creating banners for your page or logos. That's where I got mine created, and I do highly recommend. Now, you've of course got to make sure you do some legwork and make sure you're checking on people's reputations and seeing the ratings that they get. But it's a very good place to go to help with doing some great customization work for your channel, and it's not going to cost a lot. And again, all of this in the end is designed to help improve the professional look of your business. So it's not looking generic anymore. It's looking more like an actual business. Because remember, that leads to consumer confidence. The more people think that they're at a professional place of business, the more they're willing to spend money with you. And so that's the eventual place where you want to get to. Now I'm just gonna go back to your store here, and I'm gonna just scroll through some things here. And one of the things that I'm gonna mention, I did look through Renee, in that I looked at if we look at items that ended items that were newly listed, we could see here that when we go into your newly listed item, now technically it's the 19th, but that's because it's 3 in the morning when I'm doing this video, but we could see here that you listed this one on it's January 19th technically, but you listed this on January 18th. So that's great that you have active listings that are ones that you put up recently. So you want to make sure that you're keeping things fresh. They're adding new inventory each day, so that's a good thing. The other thing that is good is that you could see here that Renee is trying to implement white backgrounds here. Now, the only thing I want to point out here about this is that this is a good start. It looks much better than a lot of people's backgrounds, but whatever you're using for your background, Renee, sometimes it's coming out more dark than others, and what you really want it to do is to just seamlessly integrate with eBay's natural background. So let's click on your Furby, for example. Now, it doesn't look bad, but it does make it look, it will make it look more professional, and that will increase the chance someone will buy it if it does have that nice, clear, crisp white background on it. And so an easy way to do this, you just take this, just save the image, and you could just go over to Photo Fuse, which I've talked about before, and I already did this for you, but you could see here, look at this nice white background that you're going to get here, and that's just going to easily integrate right here into eBay, and it's going to match with this white background right up top. So it's just all going to look like it does right here when you go on the eBay page, and that one just gives it a more professional look. Again, this isn't bad, but again, it's better than a lot of people's, but this is even better, and it's easy to do. Very, very simple. Again, the program is Photo Fuse, which you could see right here, Photofuze. I did a whole video on how to use it, so I'm not going to do a demonstration here. Just search for white backgrounds on my YouTube channel, and you'll see it there. So the last thing I want to talk about, and this is, I'd say probably of second importance, maybe actually you could even argue it's of first importance, because it has to do with price. I mean, categories are huge, but price is obviously very important as well. And you need to make sure you are pricing your items properly. So let's actually go back to, we're just going to focus on one of your items, Renee. You can see I have the Sonic the Hedgehog item up here, and I know I saw that earlier. Where the heck is it? We just have to find it. It's here somewhere. Where'd you go, Sonic? You run away from me? Would someone buy it already? Where'd you go, Sonic the Hedgehog? See, now I can't find him. This is the problem. Now he's here somewhere. Let's see. Let's go to the second page. Maybe we'll find him over here. I don't know where he went. Oh gosh, he's my tutorial item. I don't know where he went. Did he sell? Now see, now this is also one of the issues with, this is actually a good example. I'm actually kind of glad that this happened, is it goes to show you just sometimes how eBay will reshuffle things. And if you have things in categories, it's going to be much easier for me to find it. Like imagine I'm a buyer, I go back, I want to find that Sonic the Hedgehog item. I couldn't find it. Well, look, I'm chasing all over the place trying to find it because things are scattered. And I guess it's here on the last page. Let's go here on page 4. Maybe it's over here. There he is. So you see, this is actually, like I said, glad this happened because it was on the first page before and now it's on the 4th page. But let's take a look at this piece here, right here. Okay. So nice picture. Again, I'd like to see it on a crisp white background, but let's focus on the price. It's $14.39. Now it's marked 10% off, $7.70 shipping. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat is the shipping is too expensive for this item. How do I know that? This is only an 8-inch plush, and there's no way that this plush weighs more than 16 ounces. So 16 ounces or less, it's going to go first class. Maximum, this is going to be like a $4 to $5 item to ship. So there's $3 extra about being added onto the price for no reason from a shipping cost perspective, and the handling isn't going to cost that much either. I mean, you're talking about tossing this thing into a poly bag, maybe putting some bubble wrap around it. It's not, you don't even have to really do that. It's going to just take 2 seconds to package this thing. So there's not going to be a lot of time invested into the handling. So if we add the $14.39 together to the $7.70, that gives us $22.09. Now, some people are just going to see that $7.70 shipping and they're just going to walk away just from that. But let's say they stick with it for a second. Let's do some comparables. So I already set this up just to save some time. But if you go over here and we search for this item, and here it is. Now this one says a 9-inch, but it's the same one. Some people label it 7 inches, some people label it 9 inches, some people label it as 8 inches. But this is the one right here. And you can see here the price for it. Brand new in the box is $16.99 plus $6 shipping. This is an actual sale price. Okay, so we're looking at completed sales. So the maximum, and this is I sorted this highest to lowest. What's the highest amount of money someone ever paid for this piece in the last 60 days? We got a total of $22.99. Well, that's going to be a problem. It gives you a clue that's going to be a problem because people generally pay a bunch more for something that's new in the box with tags compared to something that's used. And this is a used, it's a pre-owned item, and the cost is almost identical to what the maximum is that someone paid new in box. So that's also an issue. So let's go down and let's look at the highest price that someone sold this for used. So we'll go down. Now there's some things that look like it, but it's not exactly the same thing. So here we go. Here, this is $14.99 plus $3.82 shipping. So about $4 added to the 15. So somewhere right around like $19 or so. And that's the maximum someone's going to pay, that someone has paid for it used. So right now you're looking at it and you're saying, well, wait a minute. Renee has it priced for more money. She has it priced for $22.09. That's a couple bucks more than the maximum anyone else has paid for it in the last 60 days used. So that gives you an indication of why you might be having a difficulty selling this particular item. Because what people are going to do is they're going to search through things by generally they're going to go price plus lowest, price plus shipping, lowest first. So they're going to try to get that, see where could I find this item for the cheapest price, essentially. So they're going to scroll down. So it's all set up this way. And so here you can see now someone's calling this the 7-inch one, but it's the same one. I checked it out. It's the same exact one. 7 of them have sold for $11.99 plus $4.44 shipping. And that's brand new. So that's $16.43. That's a lot cheaper than spending $22.09 on the item. And now this person did put shipping into it, but it still wound up being the lowest price available. So people will, yes, I don't disagree, people will pay shipping prices for things as long as the price plus the item still works out to be the lowest one. And you could see it worked for this person. They sold a lot of them. Now you might say, well, they have one left, so then when that one sells, then maybe Renee could sell this piece for the 22. Well, not so fast, because as we keep scrolling down, look what we see. We have another one for $16.99, free shipping. And as many know from watching my channel, I do advocate working the shipping cost into the item so that you could advertise it as free shipping, because there's a lot of people who are just going to search for things based on free shipping. So you're going to cut those people out who are searching for things that way. And if you're not offering free shipping, if you're doing calculated, now again, I've talked about this before, I've done separate videos. If you want to do calculated shipping and it works for you, that's fine. I'm just letting you know that if you want to have the broadest catchment for people, the broadest way to get the most people, it's by selecting a free shipping option. So we go down and we see here's another person, $16.99 free shipping, offering the same item. And then we got another person. Oh, that's a different item here. Let's go down, different item. But we got to keep scrolling down. Now you see the problem here that Renee's having is that to get to her item, there's a lot of other competing items here. When we just do a basic search for it, we've got to scroll through all these other competing items as well that aren't even the same ones. And then finally we get to Renee's. $14.39 with $7.70 shipping. The average person is just not going to get this far. That's the problem. That's why I think it's a main reason why, Renee, that you're having slow sales is because of this issue. So what I would suggest is to go through all of your items and do the same exact type of analysis that I just ran it through and adjust accordingly. How much did you pay for this Sonic the Hedgehog? If you only paid 50 cents for this thing, then I would just price this thing competitively with these other items and just get it. Like let's take a look at who's selling this for the cheapest right here. Let's get back to this person here. Where's that person that was selling it? They sold 7 of them. They only have 1 left. $11.99 plus $4.44 shipping. If this was me in this situation, this person's selling it for $16.43, I would try to beat this person on price. I'd sell it for $15.99. I'd make the sale probably within a few days. Because I just beat them on price. And you'd still have enough room to make a good profit if you source the plush low. Most people are sourcing plushes for less than $1. It's going to be a first class item, so you're going to spend $4 to $5 shipping it. So there you're probably out like $5, probably with fees $6. You sold it for $15.99. You're still clearing about $10 on the plush. That's good. That's a way to flip it, as opposed to just getting stuck down here kind of in limbo because of a pricing issue. So those are really the main issues that I wanted to talk about. Doing a full on review of like every item would obviously take forever, and it's just people aren't going to have the patience for that. But I wanted to just kind of put the spotlight on a few main issues. Again, just to summarize, we talked about putting things in store categories, making sure that you are branding things, making sure that you are getting those nice white, clear, crisp backgrounds onto items, just like that cool little Furby there. And then also making sure you're doing a proper analysis on price looking for what things sold for previously, and looking at what your current competition is, because you have to have things priced properly in order to make sure that you're selling it, especially if you have an item in which the market is flooded. One last thing I want to talk about this with regards to pricing, just to be careful of. If you have a relatively unique item or something that there's not a competitor for right now, but someone did sell it previously, you don't necessarily have to go based on that prior sale to determine what you should sell it for, because it's possible that person may have sold it for too low. So if you have the market cornered on the item, so like if you have the only one of these Sonic the Hedgehog toys, then sure, sell it for $19.99, or sell it for, as a better example, you could put up for $24.99, higher than anyone ever sold it for before, because you have the market cornered on it. But in this situation, in which many people find themselves in, where they're in a competitive situation, doing that comps research is absolutely essential. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If so, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit this little bell icon up here. That'll give you notifications for when I go live. That's important. Sometimes YouTube is taking subscribers off if they're not hitting the bell icon for some reason. So that's kind of crazy. But so that's important to make sure that you to click that as well. Also, make sure I mentioned my Facebook group. Come by there. The Facebook Reselling Resource Center. Links down below in the description section, as well as to my Instagram account. That's @prime_time_treasure. Thank you very much, Renee. I'm going to look through the other stores as well that were sent to me. And if I could find additional things to add, I am going to make some additional videos to provide some other tips. If you like this video and you want to see more things like these videos, please let me know, because that will help me determine if I'm going to continue to do much more with this type of store review content. For those who did email me, I will get back to everyone that did send me an email. Right now, don't send me any new emails about a store review, because I'm just focusing on the ones that people send me right now. There's already enough of those I need to look over. And I don't want to make a commitment to other people right now to do additional reviews. So thank you very much again, Renee, and to everyone else who stuck around this far. Again, hope you liked the video, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care, everyone.